The Trump family is betting big on crypto again, but this time something that they have never invested in before. That is Bitcoin mining companies. So in this video, we're going to go over their latest investment and to ask the question, is it better to invest in Bitcoin or is it better to invest in Bitcoin mining companies? And we're going to go into the charts and determine, was this the biggest mistake the Trump family has made since Trump Airlines, or is this going to be their best investment yet? Now, this is being reported from the New York Times. Trump family pushes further into crypto, starting yet another adventure. And so two of the president's sons announced on Monday that they're investing in a new Bitcoin mining company. This is Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., and they said they're going to join forces with the Bitcoin mining company Hut 8 to create a firm called American Bitcoin. And later on in this video, we're going to go over Bitcoin and the individual mining stocks to see how did they perform during the last market downtrend. Was it better to buy Bitcoin or is it better to buy Bitcoin mining stocks? Now let's listen to Don Jr. From the start, we backed our conviction in Bitcoin personally and through our businesses. But simply buying Bitcoin is only half the story. Mining it on favorable economics opens an even bigger opportunity. So here's the details. Under the terms of the deal, Hut 8 will control 80% of the new company, with the other 20% going to a business entity called American Data Centers Incorporated, whose investors include the two Trump sons. But Bitcoin mining gets a little bit of flack. Now, Bitcoin mining has been among the most widely criticized features of the crypto industry. When Bitcoin was a niche, novelty investment, anyone could run a computer program to help process Bitcoin transactions, earning new Bitcoins as a reward. But as the industry grew, the amount of computing power required for mining skyrocketed. Publicly traded firms like Hut 8 ran sprawling data centers packed with servers that power Bitcoin transactions. I want to give a quick shout out to LBank Exchange. It is my favorite exchange to get all of the latest trading pairs, all of the hottest meme coins and altcoins. You can go to the spot trading or you could do futures perpetual trading. And we have a link down below with the tutorial on the top of our page. Tons and tons of features here, 24/7 customer support, huge reach here, huge volume, millions of users, and they have over 200 countries and regions covered. So go ahead, open up an account, deposit some funds, and start your trading journey. But now it's time for us to get into the charts. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about the downturn in 2021 is the current price action that we're looking at right now looks a lot like the downturn of 2021. This is, we pumped, from December, January, February, and then March, April, started to fall off a cliff. Bitcoin found a bottom in the June, July area, and then put in new all-time highs in November. And if we compare the first half of 2021 to where we're at today, I just see a lot of similarities. I mean, the chart structure is looking very similar. So what we're going to do is, if you bought Bitcoin on June 22nd, 2021, and sold the day of the top November 10th, how would your performance rank compared to Riot Platforms, compared to Marathon Digital, and compared to Hut 8, which the Trump sons just bought? Now, we're looking at the largest Bitcoin miners by market capitalization. We're going to be looking at Marathon and Riot and, of course, Hut 8. So we got the two largest plus the one Trump's sons bought. Now let's get into the charts here. So June 22nd. Bitcoin trading under $29,000. November 10th ended up trading slightly above $69,000. So we're going to have Bitcoin 28,855. No, Bitcoin coming in at 69.50 towards the tail end of the year. And we're going to go over the percentage gains for each of these platforms. So Riot, this is the weakest. This is the worst performing of all the Bitcoin mining stocks. June 22nd, when Bitcoin found a bottom, you can see the red spike right there, but actually barely put in a new high. I mean, it was much lower than the previous all-time high that it hit in February of 2021. So if we measure that, we're going to see the gain there and start around $28, barely pumped a little over $40. Still great return on investment. But maybe you would have been better off just buying Bitcoin. We're going to break down the numbers to the percentage point. Here we have Hut 8. Not like a football, Hut. This is what the mining company that they invested in with. So Hut 8 holds 80% of the new venture. Trump family holds 20% of the new venture. Now, when we go to Hut 8, this return is incredible. So good, we're going to save it for last. And we're going to go to Marathon Digital next. Marathon Digital, June 22nd, you can see the wick right there, and had a nice little pump. Almost caught the exact top. When you're looking at the numerical values, around $25, pumped around $80. Now, Hut 8, though, obviously the all-star here. Now, this is actually the wick right there. So pretty much caught the exact bottom. It's going to be around $15 and then ended up pumping very near $80. So seeing a huge gain. So let's break down the numbers. So Bitcoin, $28,000 to $69,000. Riot Platforms, $28 to $42. Hut 8, $15 to $79, and Marathon went from $24 to $80.23. So when you start looking at the percentage returns, except for one company, which was Riot Platforms, it was actually better to invest in the mining companies rather than Bitcoin. Bitcoin ended up pumping 140%, but Hut 8 ended up pumping 408%, and Marathon ended up pumping 232%. It was just Riot Platforms that kind of lagged a little bit, but still had a 50% pump. And so back to the price action we're at right now, a lot of people are saying, the bear market's about to start. We are about to fall off a cliff. Everybody was saying the same thing during this period. It wicked a little bit lower. We found a little bit of a bottom shortly after capitulation, but kind of just traded in a range. And we might be looking at a similar structure here, just kind of trading in a range. I would be very hesitant to sell my Bitcoin when you have things like Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. This is breaking from this morning. He warns that the dollar is at risk of losing world reserve currency status to Bitcoin. And this came from a newsletter they send to their investors. The U.S. has benefited from the dollar serving as a reserve currency for decades, but that's not guaranteed to last forever. The debt has grown at 3 times the pace of GDP since Times Square's debt clock started ticking in 1989. This year, interest payments will surpass $952 billion, which is exceeding defense spending. If the U.S. doesn't get its debt under control, if deficits keep ballooning, America risks losing that position to digital assets like Bitcoin. So even Larry Fink is bullish on Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to recent price action, if we're looking at the smaller time frames here, we are starting to see, the daily bullish divergence. Maybe it kind of played out, everybody. You can see we had a nice little bull div from here to here. And you can see the RSI was moving in a firm direction to the upside, but now the RSI has somewhat corrected. You can see a nice little cool down on the RSI. The RSI, the bullish divergence looks played out on the daily, but if you go the smaller time frames, you're starting to see it continue to print on the 1 hour candle. You see it on the 4 hour candles as well. So might be able to roll into more bull divs on the larger time frames. This might have just been a little wick down just to stop all the people from longing your favorite cryptocurrencies. So that's all I got. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto. Maybe it is better to follow the Trump sons and to look at some of these strong Bitcoin mining companies. But no matter how you put it, I don't plan on selling Bitcoin or Bitcoin mining stocks anytime soon. I'm DZ, and I'll see you and your Bitcoin assets at the top.